Okay, y'all. So another tidbit came to me, and I was sitting here thinking, like, I put a lot of importance on friendship because there were times when I had friends and I didn't necessarily have family. You understand? So there's a bond of friendship that is instantaneous, it's unbreakable, it's soulful, right? So we're in these situations where we're paired with another. Like, we already talked about what not to disclose with certain people because it can be used as a weapon against you. Um, this is like, that should be common knowledge, but we still find ourselves in situations where we have, given people very important keys about us and very important information that can tear us down later on when we're in a moment of weakness or vulnerability or what have you. So I was just thinking, there are times when you're paired with someone, the way that I feel it and the way that I sense it, I know I love a person right away, but it takes me a lot longer to understand why I like them. We're born into families where you're supposed to love your siblings. It takes time to get to know them, even though we're brother and sister, sister and sister, or these are my cousins, or these are my aunts. As you're getting older and you're undoing a lot of conditioning and a lot of damage that you've endured, you're actually unraveling what it is that bound you to these connections. And you have to reassess who they are as people. Like, if this person was not my kin, if this person was not my family member, would I like them? Like, what's the content of their character? What do they really inject or insert into my life that is fulfilling to keep moving forward with this connection? So you have to test, even as you test the spirits, you know what I'm saying? You have to test these connections because they're contractual agreements. This is why we're coming into families. And you'll see a lot of families have that tumultuous dynamic. And it seems as if this person was not of these parents, or they are nothing like their siblings, or this and that. You're going to have a change agent in a family, and you're going to have a chaos agent in a family. If you only have one person born into a family, their lesson is going to be completely different if they're an only child. They're somewhat of a, their part of their lesson is going to be about unity, about closeness, without codependency, because they're so inclined to they're going to be one of two things, either severely detached or overly dependent, and they're going to have to find the balance in the middle. So I'm looking at these friendships, these close relationships, or whatever they may be. The whole point of them are to be interdependent, not codependent. So if you're enjoying your life and you're living it up and you're single or whatever, there's going to be a person that you would like to experience your happiness with you. They don't make you happy. They have to enjoy the happiness that you're creating for yourself with you. That's something that you should want. You should, want to share that with another person, but you don't necessarily have to. You can have fun by your motherfucking self, if you get what I'm saying. But take, for instance, if you have someone, your views are these couple of views or whatever. Say you're pescatarian, say you're Methodist, say you're whatever the case may be. These titles that we give ourselves, these lifestyle attachments that we've associated ourselves with. And then you meet someone and the connection is all of that and some, but you find out they're vegan, or you find out they're Catholic or atheist, or whatever the case may be, in contradiction to the title you've given yourself, to the moniker you've aligned with. Is it a deal breaker? And why? So you have to understand, when a Connection is instantaneous. There's certain things about a person, as you grow to know them and like certain things about them, there will be some things that you dislike. There'll be some things that you just don't necessarily bond with 100% because it differs from you. Not necessarily a turn off, but lifestyles can be different. Waves of spirituality can be different. Ways of being can be different. But for some reason you aligned with another person. You have to understand, in your acceptance of this person, it's not just for that person. It gets you to look at an entire collective of people who are similar to the person that you're admiring, loving, respecting, getting to know, to compromise on how rigid your thinking may be or how resolute you may be on something. It's giving you a different perspective that you can still respect, love, and admire a person that differs from you, but it's going to be giving you a lesson through that person. So it takes a village, more or less, spiritually especially, to raise us children. We're always evolving, we're always learning, we're always incorporating new vision, new learning, new teachings, new ways of life. And we're learning from each other. We're bouncing off of each other and picking up facts. We're picking up different perspectives from each and every person that we encounter. So even still, if there's a collective of people that you just admonish and you just do not fuck with, your lesson could be that you fall in love with someone who is of that group or of that creed or of that religion or of that lifestyle, to show you that sometimes your rigid thinking is so rigid, you're not being fluid and you can't go with the flow. There are certain things that you're missing. There's lessons, there's blessings, there's opportunities, and there's a lot of things missing when you dismiss a whole group of people. Not saying, don't get me wrong, not saying go love a pedophile or a KKK member or an extreme example of hatred or destruction. That's not what I'm saying at all. Not in the slightest. Don't misunderstand me. We all got common sense. But what I'm saying is, a vegan and a carnivore or an omnivore can have a relationship without disrespecting each other's boundaries. Instead of, oh, I'd never date a person who did this, or I'd never date a person who did that. Understand that it could be based off of something false. It could be based off of something that you grew up believing. We're in a time where you really have to go over everything you have learned from your parents, from your grandparents, with a fine-tooth comb. They did the things they did because they were in a different time, in a different space, and they were brought up to do so. Now we're in a time where it is recognized you always have a fucking choice. And regardless of what they're going to say about it, you're the only one responsible for the life that you're living. No one can live it for you. No one can tell you how to live it, and no one can force you to make any decision based off of their tradition. Tradition is the death of progression. You have to. I don't give a fuck if it's a tradition. Put your own twist, your own spin on it. Make it yours. You have to make it yours. Ritual and things that are habitual, you have to make it yours. The way that your folks celebrated Christmas, you got to do it different. You have to do it unique to you. Thanksgiving, you have to do it unique to you. Whatever other holidays that you celebrate, if any at all, you have to do them unique to you, because no one is living your life. No one knows how you work, what your work schedule is, how you and your kids or you and your family feel about it. They just don't dictate those things. They do not. They do not. Because when they're in their grave and they still have control over you, that's sad. So just have an open mind to be receptive and open to things that you're not that familiar with. Not to sway your consciousness in any particular way, but if something is going to resonate with you, it's going to resonate with you. And if it's not, it fucking doesn't. You can feel the difference. And if you don't, then we got a lot of work to do. Honestly, we got a lot of fucking work to do. So just know, just because opinions differ or lifestyles differ, it is not always a red flag. But if you know that you would not have a friend like the person you're dating, or you don't have any friends that reflect the type of person you're aligning yourself with romantically and sexually, then they're not friend worthy. That they're not someone that you would want to keep in your circumference. Do you understand? Like, you can love a person instantaneously, but that love attraction can be based on the lesson you need to learn from them in order to understand others, to build your discernment, to make you a stronger warrior, fighter, guide, teacher, whatever the fuck you may be, and do it well. Because you're going to have people come and spill out their whole life story to you. You are. If you follow this channel, you are. You do. Already. Complete strangers. Close friends. People you don't know that well. They will spill their life story out to you, just based off of the receptive energy that you have. So understand that you have to put your romantic interest through the same guise. You have to detach the emotionality from actually getting to know a person. Like, have the awareness, I really fucking like this person. I feel this connection to this person. But listen with an open heart and listen with an open ear. Those differences can make all the difference. It's one thing to be receptive and open in order to understand that your views could be too biased or too restricted, but you're also listening out for if this person has the quality, if they were not romantically or sexually or physically connected to you in that type of way, would you keep them in your motherfucking circle? You really need to ask your fucking self what type of person you have in your surroundings. Could you trust this person in your home? Could you trust this person with your kids like you would a best friend or a very close friend or someone that you've always had a very good relationship, tight-knit relationship with? These are the types of bonds that you need to create when dealing with someone on a romantic, interpersonal, physical, romantic level. Because a lot of people are put together and they don't even fucking like each other. They can't stand the sight of each other. They don't trust each other. Why? Because they have nothing else but some topical shit, some surface level shit. There is no depth. Under the surface, they hate each other's fucking guts. Purely and sincerely. They have not built anything of substance besides a physical connection, a romantic connection, a sexual connection, to the point where they cannot compromise or even come to agreement on a simple motherfucking discord. It's not that hard. It isn't that hard. It's never that hard. Not when a relationship is love-based, when it's friend-based, when it's agape-based. You're not going to have those types of conflicts. I'm just saying. I've got friendships that 21 years in the making. So I understand 20 plus years in the making. There's some that supersede that. So you're not going to tell me that the person you're with or had a problem with, they were your best friend or a very good friend. Like, you really need to understand, when people say you're a good friend to me, some people mean some friend zone shit. And that's because they've been mistreated by people where the love was unrequited. build and cultivate these friendships. It is very, very fucking vital. Very vital. Because as a friend, you could tell a person, I really like you, but I do not think we should take it there. I really admire you and I respect you and I want to keep it that way. So I don't think we should do this. From a friend's ear, they'll understand it. From a real friend's ear, a true friend's ear, they'll understand it. But if you're dealing with someone that you haven't built that strong friendship foundation with, you've got nothing. You've got nothing at all. Nothing. Next to nothing. You have to understand this. With the depth of me, I'm trying to convey this message with all of my wisdom. It's coming from experience. It's coming from life lessons, from seeing this, witnessing this, going through this, having this occur in real time and time again, to where everybody gets put through that lens. Are you friendship quality? Are you friendship material? Because I can accept my friends' differences. I have a friend who's vegan. I have a friend who loves to eat steak and can do so on the daily. Smoke cigars, some smoke weed, some have other vices. And even still, they're not repelled from me because their vices don't undermine their purpose. You understand what I'm saying? Or their lifestyles don't undermine their purpose. They're doing what they're doing in balance. Even if it is eating steak, even if it is hitting a blunt or a bowl. They're doing what they're doing. And it doesn't take away from my energy. It doesn't take away from my guidance or my abundance when I link with this person. I do know the difference. So you have to. I don't care if it's X's, nexus, currents, potentials, potential suitors coming in. I don't care who it is. I don't care. If they're not friendship quality, do not go forward. You have to watch how they treat others. You have to watch how they talk about others. These are things that you're not allowing in your day-to-day circumstances. If the criticism of a person isn't constructive, you're not going to keep enabling that friend to keep gossiping about people. If you know they wouldn't tell that person or correct that person or care enough about that person to mention it. Or if a person is just over the top and they have tried on multiple occasions to get this person at least to simmer the fuck down and respect their boundaries. You know what I'm saying? You have to see this quality in the friendships that you have. Who's mature, who's responsible, who has discernment, who has boundaries and limits, and who has healthy ones. Because your romantic partner cannot differ from your friendship group. Otherwise, something is out of line. Either who you are with that person is who you really are, or who you are with those friends is who you really are. And there becomes a conflict. If with your family, you're busting heads and turning up and this and that, and then with your partner or friend, you're the quiet wallflower and, introverted, and there's something mismatched about who you are or who you're presenting yourself to be, or the connections that you're in with these people. The real you has to be present at all times. We can't keep hiding this shit. If you cannot be yourself with any given person, or you have to hide aspects of yourself, or these people cannot meet and discuss who you are, the congruency is off. And that should alert you to something. So that's something you need to look out for when you're dating other people. Who they are with their family, who they are with their friends, who they are with you. If that shit differs, run, bitch, run. Because either they're going to need time to show you the real them, or they're going to need time to show their family the real them. But all in all, something ain't adding up. Something ain't right. And you need to know it. You need to motherfucking know it. Something ain't right. And that's that on that.